Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Take 5. It is St. Patty's Day. I don't have on anything green, but we do salute out the Irish up there. And hope you have a happy St. Patrick's Day. And it's my mom's birthday. So happy birthday, Mom. And wish you well. It was good seeing you the last couple days. Now let's do what we do best. Get into the Word of God. Matthew chapter 10, verse 26. So have no fear of them, for nothing is covered that will not be revealed, or hidden that will not be known. What I tell you in the dark, say in the light, and what you hear whispered, proclaim on the housetops. And do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather fear him who can destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? And not one of them will fall to the ground apart from your Father. But even the hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear not, therefore, you are of more value than many sparrows. So everyone who acknowledges me before men, I also will acknowledge before my Father who is in heaven. But whoever denies me before men, I also will deny before my Father who is in heaven. Strong words here, and Jesus has given the apostles the instructions. Some are going to apply immediately to them as they go on this short mission trip. Some will apply later as they continue their ministry after he's ascended to heaven. And some principles here that apply to us is to not be fearful of men. You know, men can only do so much. They could arrest us, they could persecute us, they could kill us. But who we need to fear is God. We need to fear him who can destroy both soul and body in hell, and that's of course God our Father. Now he doesn't want to do that, but we need to fear him who has the power to do that. And he says, whoever acknowledges me before my Father, I'll acknowledge him. And whoever denies me, I'll deny him. So we see a lot here that has to do with fear. Jesus is a big opponent of fear unless it's fearing God. Don't be afraid. Do you know the most common given command in the Bible? The number one command in the Bible, Old Testament and New, do not be afraid. Now, why do you think that's the most common command? I think it's because it's a tendency we have so many times to be afraid of something. You know, and we generally get afraid of failure. We're afraid of speaking in public. We're afraid of financial disaster. We're afraid of our boss. We're afraid of spiders. There are so many phobias, and there's just so many things to be afraid of. And certainly we could be afraid of people persecuting us if we stand up for Jesus. You know, it's not politically correct to talk about Jesus. It's not politically correct to stand on the Word of God, to say, I believe the Bible is the only inspired truth and I'm going to obey it. It's not politically correct. So you could be ostracized, you could be ridiculed, you could be made fun of. But don't be afraid. Do you know the most common given promise in the Bible? God is with you. And it usually follows the do not be afraid. Now here, it didn't follow it. He just said, fear not, for you have more value than many sparrows. He cares for you. That's the idea there. You're valuable to him, so you don't have to be afraid. He will tell you many other times he's with you. That's another reason you don't have to be afraid. So I would encourage you today, no matter what you're facing, don't be afraid. Don't fear it. God has allowed it. He says, listen to this. This is so interesting. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny, and not one of them will fall to the ground apart from your Father? In other words, if it's not in his will, that even the sparrow doesn't die. So everything happening to you is within his will. He's in control of it. So don't be afraid. And I know you're going to be tempted to be afraid. Don't be afraid. I'm going to tell you one more time. Do not fear. Don't be afraid. God's in control. That's all you need today. That's a powerful enough message today, tomorrow, and every day of your life. Don't be afraid. Come back tomorrow for another edition of Take 5.